Our last contributor is Professor Sokona, who is from Mali, but has been head of the Africa Climate Policy Center. So this is good.
Thank you. It's working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that my colleagues already covered all issues and different aspects, but let me start by maybe making one distinction that we do not have in mind, that there is a fundamental critical difference between adaptation and mitigation. You need incentive for mitigation. Adaptation, we have to do it. You have no choice. We are adapting because it will depend on qualifying the level and then the quality of adaptation. We have to adapt. This is given fact. And then the issue of poverty, it seems simple, but it's very complex, it's complicated, because it's related to many different aspects. And let me just try quickly, in the context of Africa, to bring some element and then much more to give some way how to deal with that complex issue. This is much more important than looking at the different impact. Poverty is among one of the top priority and critical issue in a continent. And in order to get rid of poverty, you need growth. The paradox is that in a continent for the past 15 years, Africa is growing, the economy is growing. And then the economy is growing, but most of the critical sectors, the key sectors with the interest and then related to the poverty are climate sensitive. And then in that context, the various scenarios in the continent also are uncertain. There is a number of uncertainties. And then, for instance, if we take some of the scenario, will there be increase or decrease on available water? That is sensitive. A minimum increase of temperature in some part of the continent, there will be more water. In some part of the continent, there will be less water. And then we have seen also, to take the case of the Blue Nile, the GCM downscaling, 10 models said that there will be increase of the water, and 7 models said that the contrary. And this is the kind of difficulties, the kind of uncertainties we need to manage in the context of the continent in order to deal. And then all those different aspects is that some estimate actually give an indication that by 2030, 2.7% of the African GDP the cost of the impact of climate will cost 0.7% of the GDP of the continent. And this will be growing. That means all the growth we are generating in the continent will go to the adaptation because there's no fund for that. Who is paying for that is the continent. It's the country who are paying for adaptation. And that's to come to some key issues on the transformation or transition. There is 4 critical issues we have to deal with. And then the first one, those are my proposal, my suggestion. The first one is we can say the political will or the vision, or this is a new narrative. And this new narrative has to be based on selling hope. Because for many time, for many years, we sell desperation on climate, say that it will be hit, will be heated, it will have a lot of impact, and we know that we have a lot of elements. And then what can we do about it? And then we can bring that element, and then that will come only on the new narrative, the political will, and then the ownership of the whole process at national level. And the second, if we have a will, we have a vision, we have a new narrative, we need institutions. Obviously, the kind of institution we do have actually cannot cope with this kind of problem, complex and complicated problem. And then we are thinking in silos, we are thinking in sectors, and the problem we are facing is across sectors, is across silos. We need new type of institution, and that can be easily tailored in the context of the continent. And then after the institution, we need resources, including financial resources, because this is critical, it's fundamental, it's crucial. If we have your billions without adequate institution and the will, we cannot go anywhere. But if we have the will, institution without resources, we cannot go anywhere. And then the last one will be the end of my proposal, that is our ability, while we are dealing with immediate needs, the pressing needs, we invest in long-term perspective. We have only, the way we are thinking, working, we only deal with the issue of short-term, immediate issues, that is relief, emergency aspect, and then we forget completely the long-term perspective. Or we deal with the long-term perspective, and then we completely forget the short-term issues. And then we have to bring the two together. We cannot separate short-term issues with the long-term perspective. Those are briefly my 4 proposals, and thanks for your attention.